Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all today to Hampden Stadium for this for what should be a stimulating but also hopefully entertaining event. We are delighted to have joined forces with Dell today to host this conference, which will focus on how companies can benefit from enterprise technology and build a lasting legacy from the Glasgow 2014 Commonwealth Games. Dell is the main IT hardware and data centre supporter for the Games. It's with this in mind that today's event was created to help Scottish businesses like yourselves prepare for this fantastic festival of sport.
It's been busy times at Dell over the last 12 months. We've gone through a reprivatisation. We've got Michael Dell back firmly at the heart of our business. We recently celebrated our 30th anniversary, which is a big landmark in our business, and we're all at Dell now building for the next 30 years. That's our focus. What happens next? The theme of today is technology in business. It's what we do. It's what we've been doing for 30 years. But I think there's a whole real shift in Dell's focus. And where we've come from is being a PC maker, a direct response model. And over the last few years, you'll have noticed we've acquired lots of businesses, and the firm and clear strategy going forward is to position Dell as much more of a holistic solutions provider that understands technology and understands how it can help businesses and individuals grow and do more, which is our sort of overriding tagline. We're really excited to be here. I look forward to getting some time with some of you later, and look forward to some of the interaction with some of the speakers. So thanks once again for being here, and enjoy the morning. So thanks.
The Games very much, as you can see as you look over at Hampden Stadium, is very much more a reality. The venues are operational, tickets have been purchased, go back on sale for the final lot tomorrow, cultural programmes underway, and the city's really preparing for the transformation that this city will undertake at Games time. The Games this summer will see 4,500 elite athletes from 71 nations and territories across the Commonwealth competing for medal glory in 17 sports. As I said, 261 gold medal events, no shortage of sporting drama. Over £300 million has been invested in newly improved sports and games-related facilities in the last 5 years, and these venues will be a lasting legacy for athletes, coaches, governing bodies, young people and local communities. And it's been already a tremendous impact on making sure that the city is a more active city. More than 350,000 people have used or attended events at the Emirates Arena since it opened in October 2012. Almost 12,500 people have completed coaching qualifications over the past 4 years. And the members of junior clubs, of volunteers and local club members have blossomed in that period. Legacy is, we'll be talking a fair bit about this morning. It says on the slide, success isn't simply measured by the medals, and our Games partners from the outset were determined that one of the major reasons for bidding for the Games was to ensure that there was a lasting legacy from that. We've been working with a range of partners, many organisations, and now have over 50 national legacy programmes coordinated through the Scottish Government, and more than 100 community-based legacy projects supported through Glasgow City Council. Glasgow 2014 is going to be one hell of a party. Thank you very much.
So what's the business story so far? Again, Paul touched on some of this. We actually started out on a business engagement programme before the Olympics, where we looked at running a number of business awareness sessions to try and encourage Scottish businesses to think about the fact that London's not really that far away. So while we might sometimes think about that as being a completely different country, very different business environment, why would I bid for a contract when it's down in London and I'm based in Edinburgh? We ran a number of events to kind of say to people, actually, this is really on your doorstep. We'll support you, we'll help you get out there and bid for those contracts. And we were very successful. 122 Scottish companies won 165 Olympic-related contracts. Building on that success, we have continued with that business awareness programme, and we've had 72 events with almost 10,000 participants come along. And we've seen, as it says up there, 23,000 companies registered. Paul's already mentioned the value of contracts that have been awarded. And hopefully my figures are right. I've got down to 82% of the value of those 400 and odd contracts that have been awarded have gone to Scottish companies. So I think quite often you would think, well, it's good that we've got a number of Scottish companies that have secured these contracts, I think the tendency would be to think it's going to be tiny contracts, it's not going to be a huge value, but actually the value of contracts is greater than the number of Scottish companies themselves. So we've got a really great story to tell, I think, in there about Scotland. It's a really positive story for us around hospitality and tourism, and we're looking to see 4% growth in visitor numbers over the next 3 years. There's a massive opportunity out there for Scottish businesses to go out and sell themselves and get a piece of that pie. Thank you very much.
This time last week, I was in Jersey with Tom Daly, bringing the Queen's baton back to the British Isles. I go straight from here to Northern Ireland to pick up that story and to carry it through till the opening ceremony. Very, very exciting. Making that transfer from being a sportsman myself to presenting on a story like this for sports and for Scotland. Right from the start, right from when I set out in 2007 to break the world record for cycling around the world, the biggest part was, how do I share that story? How do I capture it? How do I take an audience along? Because without doing that, let's be honest, I would have no way to continue that story personally. And so broadcasting has been a big part. Collecting the data, sharing it, and the IT and story behind that is fascinating. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but it's been that story from having sporting ambitions to being a broadcaster, and the tech that's allowed me to do that. Now, it would be a lie to say at any point I set out to race around the globe. That's what happens after years and years of pursuing ambition, of figuring out what's next. But like any business under the sun, you've got to take those small steps, and the roads can lead you to very, very interesting places. Most people are going to doubt you, and those that doubt you the most are those who are closest to you. Not because they don't like you, but because they do like you, because they care, and they worry for your failure. So I'm sure a lot of you are involved in technologies and business which are, breaking new grounds. It's so important to get into that mindset of having the fire in the belly, to know and want that you can go out and push and do things that haven't been done before, and the confidence more than anything else to do just that. Because I always say the hardest part by far with any big ambition is getting to the start line. I cycle with people all the time who are better cyclists than I am, faster than I am. That's nothing really to do with it. Yes, you need to know what you're doing technically, but most people are already good at what they're doing. But it's actually turning these ideas that you have into reality. And so few people actually do that. I mean, actually action their ideas. Figuring out first and foremost what you believe you're capable of, in my mind, in expeditions, but in anything you do is absolute number one, is absolute key.
As the recently appointed General Manager for our Scottish customer base, I've also had responsibility for making our Scottish base a great place to work over the past 7 years. And we are all immensely proud to be playing such a significant part in the overall Games experience. We've had a presence in Glasgow now for over 9 years. We've got about 600 people based at City Park in Denniston, and then we have another 70 or so based across the M8 in Edinburgh. We have over 2,000 customers here in Scotland, and these customers come from public and from private sector. We support the small, medium enterprise community all the way through to large corporate customers, some of whom have a global presence. We believe that those customers choose to work with us at Dell because, for a variety of reasons, but including our quality products, the strength of account relationship management. We have locally based technical support and a genuine interest in working with our customers to understand their businesses and how they need these businesses to grow. So as the official IT hardware and data centre supporter of the Games, we are, as I say, immensely proud to be giving Glasgow 2014 the power to do more. And together we will make sure that the only drama over those 2 weeks will be around the sport. Thank you.
What does technology look like in a Commonwealth Games compared to a normal technology delivery in a normal enterprise or what a CIO might be normally responsible for? We're looking at a much broader depth and much broader width of technology that needs to be delivered. I'm not going to go for each of the items, but it will give you a sense of the types of areas that we need to look at. So whether it's everything from the sort of the standard IT support that a business would need to keep itself running, through to the timing and scoring and result systems that are obviously critical to making sure that the athletes who are participating, we can measure, we can time, and we can capture their results and make sure it's available to themselves within the venue, and obviously to the media and to the spectators watching it at home. Quite a large number of communications technologies to help with the operations of the games, whether it's from an organising committee point of view or helping the actual athletes themselves keep in touch with family and friends at home. A lot of technology within each of the venues, the video boards and the audio systems that make sure that the experience for spectators is a really good one. As well as quite a number of software systems. So there's about 40 bespoke systems that we deliver, some quite large and complex and some quite small and simple, which actually help deliver various operations of the games. And client expectations constantly evolve. As we've heard, London 2012 was a couple of years ago, and they set new expectations in terms of what might be available in an event such as this. And of course, they've translated to what people might expect from Glasgow. That has its own challenges, given the entire technology budget for London was more than our total operating budget for the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. So scale and ability to do what London did, of course, is constrained. So we obviously focus on the things that are absolutely crucial to successfully staging the Games.
I'm just interested in hearing from you what your own personal wish for the legacy of the 2014 Games is.
I think there's four major areas that we're looking for a legacy focus on today around economic impact, and I think that is absolutely central to a lot of people's aspirations from that and how that reaches into the Scottish SME population particularly. Second one, which we touched on, is around the regeneration aspects for the city and what that lasting transformation of the East End of Glasgow and into South Lanarkshire will be, and I think we're well on the way there. A third one, I suppose, is the sort of traditional aspect around games, and that's we're very specifically haven't spoken about a legacy that's around increased sports participation full stop. It's around using the games as a driver for increased physical activity and working with the NHS and Sports Scotland and a range of governing bodies and everything else, just how we use the games as a driver for encouraging people to take more care of themselves, getting more people more active more often, and that would be a fantastic legacy. And the final and the sort of fourth one in that bubble is it's a two-facing one. One is internationally, what does the world think of Glasgow and Scotland as a result of what they see from the Games this time, and how can we help reposition that? And the other side of the same coin is what do local people think about themselves and their city, and how do they convey that in terms of citizenship? So I suppose they're the four areas that we've tried to work with partners on a formal legacy framework.
I think other things for me around legacy that I'd like to see is that more of the great businesses I get to meet in my day-to-day job think about themselves as being great businesses, become more ambitious, look at how they can take that ambition and the great ideas that they have around product and service and think beyond our own boundaries. It's very much for me about using this opportunity to internationalise. I think at the moment our biggest international and export market is our very near neighbour in England, and I do think that things like Commonwealth Games, large sporting events, when we're bringing businesses and business delegations to the country, it's a fantastic opportunity for us to look at how we build some new partnerships.
What can Dell offer businesses who are looking for technology to support to grow their own business?
I think traditionally Dell's very well known for its sort of PC hardware credentials. But over the last few years, I mean, we've gone through a real transformation as a business, and we now offer a whole range of technology solutions which really allow CIOs and IT decision makers to play a much more fundamental role in business growth. I think there's a whole conversation about the role of the CIO developing into business leadership rather than just kind of operationally fulfilling a business's needs, and that's where we're going. We are very much kind of driving that proposition, making businesses more aware of what we offer in a holistic solution sense, rather than moving away from our kind of PC solutions background. So I think that's the kind of key thing that we're driving. I think we've got a great heritage. We've got good expertise. We've got a great sort of sales and technical staff who take an approach which is work with customers to understand their needs and their challenges and identify their opportunities, and then develop sort of bespoke solutions. That's our approach. That's how we do it.
That technology is very deliberately pitched in such a way, so it's not a technology that's massively expensive that only the biggest organisations can afford. There's pretty much something for everybody in our portfolio, there's an approach that can be modular in terms of how you build your IT infrastructure to grow with your business, which in conjunction with some of the guys in the room here who would be local relationship managers, it's really about working with you to ensure that you're not over-engineered at a time maybe when your business is growing and access to that growth capital is difficult. So it's modular and it's very much based on the size of your business.